Hello, welcome to the video, and since it's December, I can finally start looking at Christmas movies, and this makes my job a lot easier considering the tidal wave of shit Christmas films that there are. And today, it's a really weird one. It's called Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, and there's a bunch of YouTubers that have covered it already, but it's just too bizarre not to cover. I've watched it and I still don't know what the fuck's going on, so I don't really know what else to say about it, so without further ado, this is Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. Anyway, the film starts in the North Pole, as you would expect for any normal Christmas movie. And it starts with all the elves making presents. I find it weird that there's like 11 of them, apparently making presents for the entire planet. And also that they're all children. So Santa in this universe has 11 children making billions of presents for the entire world. They must be hideously overworked. So we find out from one of the elves that Santa's reindeer have returned to the North Pole, but Santa's not there. Did you get that? Because I didn't. Yeah, a giant problem with this film is that you can't understand a fucking thing that's being said. Like this scene when they break out into song about how Santa's missing. It's just about the most consistently terrible sound I've ever heard. So we find out where Santa actually is, and he's for some reason got stuck on a beach in Florida.
Way down in Florida.
Apparently his reindeer fucked off without him because it was too hot. You also may be wondering, hold on, that sleigh doesn't look very stuck. Yeah, you basically wonder that the whole film. This whole film is an hour and 10 minutes of the whole cast trying absolutely everything except pushing the sleigh. We then also learn that Santa is very hot due to the fact he's wearing fur clothing on a hot day in Florida.
By golly, it is. I have never been so hot in my life.
Big fucking shocker. And he complains about this the whole film. He keeps going, oh golly, how hot is it? Why is it so hot? It's because you're wearing fur clothing on a hot beach. Take some clothes off, remove the fucking fur jacket you're wearing and the fur hat, and you might cool down. So Santa starts singing this terrible, terrible song.
Who will help me? Who will set me free?
And then apparently telepathically summons all the local children to his location. How he does this, and why he has the ability to do this, I have no idea. My favourite part of this scene is these two on this boat. And one of them has a pet raccoon for some reason. And then they see the others running, and it starts playing this hideous music, while we get a 2-minute long shot of them rowing to shore. It's very, very hard to watch, and the sound is just hideous. Everything about this movie is hideous. So they all sit in front of Santa and begin to bring him different animals to help pull the sleigh to get it out the sand. Some of these are a donkey and a horse, fine, but they also bring a cow, a sheep, and a very angry pig. The most bizarre of these animals, however, is a girl who brings a gorilla to help. Where did she get that? Where the fuck did she find a gorilla? They aren't native to Florida. They're just random gorillas walking around Florida. Oh, hi. Santa's stuck on the beach. Can you come and help, please? Also, what bothers me is Santa is huffing and puffing the whole time about how no animal can move the sleigh from the sand. But half the time, he refuses to move. He's adding 90% of the weight. Just get out the sleigh, and it would be much easier. Then he starts digging, and he actually does dig out a part of the sleigh, but the rest of the sand must be plot sand, because he literally can't touch the rest.
Oh, I guess that isn't going to work either, and it is so hot. So hot.
And again, he's still complaining about how hot it is. So Santa assures the kids that Christmas will be fine, and to prove this, he tells them the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Does that make sense? No, of course it doesn't. I really don't know why he does this. The bulk of the story is Jack and the Beanstalk, although in some reviews the story's Thumbelina. This film has two different versions and I don't know why. And it's not even Christmassy. I mean, what the fuck's going on? Anyway, I'm going to have to tell the story of Jack and the Beanstalk because otherwise this video is going to be too short. However, it's a version where Jack is the hero because if you think about it, in the original story, Jack climbs the beanstalk, breaks into the giant's house, manipulates his wife, steals his shit and murders him, leaving his wife a widow. There's no two ways about it. Jack is entirely in the wrong in that story. We start the story, we all know, with Jack singing about the stuff that was stolen, because when you steal your own stuff back, it's fine. And his mum tells him to go and sell their cow, and we run into this shady bloke called Honest John, who is selling used cows. Have you ever heard of a cow being called used after it's been milked? Does that apply to humans? You know, would you like to adopt a used human? What the fuck's going on? How can a living creature be used? We soon learn that Honest John, surprise surprise, is not very honest, gives Jack the magic beans, promises him a refund if they don't work, then sells his cow anyway and skips town. You know the rest. His mum gets pissed off at him, throws the beans, they grow into a beanstalk.
Number 7. Student watches porn and gets naked.
And then he steals all the giant's possessions. Although in his first encounter with the giant, we learn how they're making the giant the bad guy of the film by making him massively abusive to his wife.
What do I have for lunch today?
I've cooked you a delicious dish of fried creepy crawlers, dear. It's one of your favorites.
So when they kill him at the end, in a very hilarious way, might I add, we don't have to feel guilty about it.
Well, that's the end of the giant. I feel sorry for Mrs. Giant. She wasn't so bad.
Mate, you just killed him. I know he was a piece of shit, but there is laws against murder because you don't like someone. Jack just appointed himself judge, jury and executioner and decided this giant needs to die. He just murdered someone. Literally just killed the guy. Although one part I really find funny about this fairy tale is that Jack steals a full-size golden hen, a man-sized bag of golden eggs, and a full-size golden harp. Gold is very, very heavy, yet Jack is able to carry it down the beanstalk with one hand. The bottom part of that harp alone is double the size of the world's biggest bar of gold, which weighs 250 kilos. So that's already half a ton, and that's not factoring in the rest. And Jack's able to do it with one hand. Get Jack to move the sleigh, considering he's hefting around a ton of gold while climbing down a very flimsy beanstalk. He's strong as fuck. Get him to do it. Then, of course, it ends with all the villagers in Jack's house singing with some hideous musical number.
Beat the drum and ring the bells, we'll dance forevermore. Oh,
and why on earth is Honest John there? He didn't get a redemption arc in this film. He just scammed people, stole their money and left. He's going to steal that harp and the hen and the golden eggs and skip town. And Jack just welcomes him in, I think. What's going on in this movie? So anyway, that's enough fairy tales. By this point, 1 hour into the movie, Santa has finally figured out that taking off his coat will cool him down.
Oh, dear. Oh, feel how much better that is.
And the children have found the ice cream bunny. What on earth is that? That is one cursed video if I've ever seen it. Where did they find it? This is the first time we see him. They were with Santa, they ran off, and now they're in a fire engine with an 8-foot tall demonic entity. It's stranger danger on steroids. I mean, if your parents taught you don't get in cars with strange people, that should definitely apply to don't get in a fire engine with a man wearing an 8-foot tall bunny costume. And the fact he comes out of absolutely nowhere and has nothing to do with ice cream makes no sense. All he does is drive around ominously for 5 minutes, then Santa introduces him as his good friend.
Again. Well, my old friend, the ice cream bunny.
The only person who has an appropriate reaction to this is this dog, who will not stop barking when the bunny's around. I mean, rightly so.
And you rebel, you old hound, you were the one who helped, weren't you? Were you the one that brought the ice cream bunny?
Santa and the bunny then drive off to do God knows what, and the sleigh magically teleports back to the North Pole. So what was the point in the film if the sleigh could just magically teleport back? Confusing doesn't begin to describe this film. This movie is just one giant wave of awful. The sound is horrible, the acting is horrible, the plot is horrible, and I'm not sure if I can actually call it a Christmas movie. I don't know. Sure, Santa's in it, but most of the story is Jack and the Beanstalk and an 8-foot demon bunny. There is nothing Christmassy about it. It doesn't even take place in a wintry place. So overall, it was definitely an experience. Was it a good experience? I don't know. Just an experience. Even though Santa's in it, I'm not sure I can even class this as a Christmas movie. The best way to describe this as a Christmas movie would be if you got The Fast and the Furious and Vin Diesel was wearing a Christmas outfit but everything else was the same, would that be a Christmas movie? That's the best way to describe it. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.